Are we live?
Yep.
On Rythmia Facebook page. I hope I did this live on the Rythmia Facebook page. I've been practicing all afternoon on my personal page to make sure that my signal was good. Seems that we are good, right?
It says live.
Are there any people joining yet? Okay, perfect. So, welcome everybody. Happy Sunday Fun Day. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. If anyone is tuning in, please let me know where you're watching from. And Levi, you can let me know. You can see the comments. And also let me know if the audio is okay. I'm coming to you live from an outdoor palapa here in Costa Rica. As you can see, the topic of today's Facebook Live is Potluck Party. We are attending a potluck this afternoon, so I thought I would do that as our theme for today's Facebook Live. So before I get started, I just want to show you guys where we are. If you want to pan around, Levi. Just hanging out in friend's backyard. Barbecue is going. Want to say hello, Oscar? What up? Hello. There's the baby with Alex. There's little Kobe Grace. She's having a bottle so that mom can do her live. There's some beers being had. We're just having a nice, not by me, breastfeeding. And because I'm actually going to be 2 years sober October 28th, everyone recalls. So that's very exciting. So we're going to keep this short because little Kobe's going to be done that bottle and probably be screaming very, very soon. So here we go. So for potlucks, I have a few go-to recipes that I do every time I go to a potluck. And I'm doing one that's a little bit different here today. And I wanted to cover a couple of potluck hacks for you guys before I get into the recipe, because this is going to be one recipe and it's going to be super easy. It's going to be part of our lunch here today. Kobe's already crying, but I want to show you guys some hacks. So the first thing I'm going to show you is one of the ingredients. What Kobe does is she drinks from the bottle and she hasn't really figured out her hands yet. She pushes it out of her mouth and then she screams like you've stolen it from her. So looks like she's got herself sorted there. So this here is one of the ingredients for the recipe I'm going to do. Inside of here it is guacamole, but I don't know if you noticed, but what I've got here on top is a shower cap. What? Okay, we go to hotels all the time, right? And part of the toiletry package is shower caps. We get shower caps all the time. So this is what I use them for. You can wrap this over plates, over bowls, whatever. It's a great food saver and it's reusable. You can just wash it and reuse it. Just don't wash it with really hot water. So that's my first hack, shower caps, and look at how easy that is. And it seals up really, really well. Keeps the smell of the garlic and the onion and guacamole from getting all over the place in the fridge. How is the audio? Has anyone said anything?
Somebody said audio was good.
Audio's okay? Perfect. We have the motor from the pool going and various other things, so I'm glad that the audio's okay. This is the other hack that I wanted to mention, and it was a reminder. I was watching a cooking show this week, and they were talking about this. So this guacamole I made this morning, and it's still quite green, because what I've done is I've taken this plastic wrap, which I know we don't want to use plastic, but to keep it nice and green, I've pressed the plastic wrap right up against the guacamole, as opposed to just doing plastic wrap over the top of the bowl, because the reason why guacamole goes brown is from oxidization, so you want to keep oxygen away from it. So putting whatever you're using, we could even push the shower cap right up against it. You just want to make sure that there's no air touching it, and that's going to keep your guacamole from going brown. I should have been doing this Facebook Live at the beginning of the summer for everyone in North America, because these are great tips for when you're going to barbecues in the backyard. My next tip is going to be, if you're going to a potluck, and if you have a very indistinguishable bowl, mine is obvious, it's a great blue bowl, but if I was bringing like a clear glass dish, for example, you're going to get confused because everyone brings the same dishes to potlucks, right? So what I like to do is grab a little bit of nail polish, and this is just a really great way you can identify. You just draw a little line on the bottom of your dish. Dun, dun, dun. So then, if someone else had a blue bowl, or there's a bunch of different blue bowls, you would know exactly which one's yours. Not that it really matters if everyone has the exact same dish. You can bring someone else's home, I'm sure, and they're going to bring yours, and no one will be the wiser, but it's still a pretty good idea for just claiming anything. You put that in tags of t-shirts or anything that you want to identify, a little bit of nail polish, because it doesn't wash off. So that's my another tip. Another tip that I wanted to show you guys today is how to make yourself a little pie carrier. So look at this. I just made this last night in 10 minutes sitting on the floor in our living room. And this is a really great way to transport pies, because quite often pies get crushed, right? And most of us don't have proper pie carriers. So all I've done is this is just a canvas bag. Like any of the canvases bag, and if you're anything like me, you buy a new one every time you go to the store because you leave all of yours in the car, or you don't even bring them with you. So what I've taken is a canvas bag, and I've just cut the handle off and used one big part of the canvas handle and sewed it to two corners. And then I took the other handle, cut it in half, and then sewed it really messily to the other two corners. So I've got two little loops and a big loop. So to carry, you just place your pie or your plate or anything else that you want to keep safe and carry nicely. And you just place the long handle through the little handle, sorry, the big handle. Yeah, I'm doing that right. Like this. And you have a great little carrier. And it's a great way to upcycle these bags because I have so many of them. The last hack that I wanted to mention to you too is if you have a bunch of things that your foodware that you're bringing into a potluck and you're putting them in the trunk of your car. Quite often for me, I know stuff, even when I'm bringing groceries home, stuff gets shuffled around and slides around in the trunk and becomes a big mess. If you have like big glass dishware and stuff, like with a casserole or salad bowls and stuff, lie your yoga mat in the trunk of your car, and then you can put things like that on the yoga mat, and because it's a non-stick surface, it's not going to slide around and make a big mess in the trunk of your car. So those are my hacks that I have for you today. And now we're going to make the recipe, which is a really, really easy recipe. And I just have a regular old big yet white plate here. And to the bottom of my plate, I'm going to take some, this is just a black bean puree. Black bean puree is huge here in Costa Rica, refried beans. We use black and red beans in a million things. And this is going to be a layered bean dip, but a nice healthy version. So this is just black beans with garlic, some seasonings that were cooked and then pureed in the food processor. And that's going to be the base of our dip. Kobe's over there having a little bit of a fuss, but she's gonna be fine.
Get on the ball, babysitter.
See, this is what's really fun right now, by the way, guys, is we're at this great little potluck, and Kobe's got a new friend. We just met a couple here today that have a 7.5-week-old baby, also just like Kobe, and then another dear friend who is expecting twins in 2020. So we're Levi, who's behind the camera. If you want to say hi, Levi.
Hello.
We're having a lot of fun meeting our new community of fellow parents. It's opened up a whole new world to us since having Kobe Grace in a whole new community. So it's really, really fun. So next layer I'm going to put in is my guacamole, and this is just a really simple guacamole with another hack that I used when I made it. So this is just avocado, cilantro, garlic, and salt, and lots of lime. But when I made this morning, I used my whisk. You know, my metal whisk that you would whisk eggs for egg whites and whipped cream. I use that to smash the avocado, and it just is a quick way to go about doing it. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it's easier than using a fork. So we got our layer of guacamole. I'm gonna press this down. Again, resealing it so I can put it back in the fridge or make another batch of this later. Like so. I'm going to just put that there. Then the next few layers are up to you what you want to add in, but I'm going to add in some romaine lettuce. Because, you know, I like to make things all a little bit healthier. A little bit of romaine. Fiber, good and green, super good for all of us. Oh, and this is the other hack that I forgot to tell you. When you go into a potluck, you're inevitably going to forget something, especially your Tupperware. If you're bringing your salad in components instead of assembled. So what I've done is I've just grabbed a bunch of jars. I always keep all my jars to reuse them. And this is a great way because I can leave these here and they can just throw them out in the recycling instead of me having to worry about washing them and bringing them home. Kobe Grace is having a little bit of a fuss fest over there. You're okay, Cobes. You're okay. You're okay, buds. Maybe she has a burp. Sorry, Alex, I didn't mean to throw you into taking care of my baby. Then we add some peppers here. Dun, dun, dun. Look at how pretty this is going to be beautiful when all is said and done. Just like that? Was that a burp? Yeah! Burping machine.
Try and get another one.
She's very vocal when she's like, I got a burp. She lets you know real clear. And then I'm adding, this is just a version of a pico de gallo, just like it's not a traditional by any stretch of the imagination. I've just sliced some cherries in half, cut up some cucumber, cilantro, and a bit of sea salt. And that's just going to be another nice layer of vegetables on top of here. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that. Doesn't that look pretty? Then the piece de resistance, 3 toppings, and one of the first topping I'm gonna add in here is pickled red onions. And this is something I serve on the buffet at Rythmia all the time. These are just onions that I've pickled in apple cider vinegar and a bit of water, and I just sliced these up really thin last night with my mandolin, and I put them in the refrigerator overnight, and they pickled up that quickly. And there was no heat added. These are completely raw. So we add those in, really beautiful color. Then we're gonna add in, you'd think my arms would be stronger lugging around a 10-pound baby. I might have to ask, can you give me a hand with this? That's why I like having all these strapping gentlemen around. One to care for my baby and one to help me open jars. It's tight. It's a tight one.
Yeah.
You gotta hit it with a spoon.
I'm ready.
You got it? Amazing. Thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
Perfect. Then I'm gonna add, I'm just gonna use my hands. A little bit of black olives. Again, this is obviously not traditional in a bean dip, but pretty delicious. That sour, that's salty, briny goodness from the olives and the onions is really, really yummy. And then the last thing I'm gonna add in here is just some green onion. Look at that. Hey, bada boom, bada bing. Bam, as Emerald would say. And how pretty is that? It's a showstopper. It looks really pretty. You look like you've been preparing it all day. And it's really easy and light, and I would just serve this with some nacho chips, corn chips. And if you want, you can add something like a vegan cheese or a regular cheese. Just a little bit of extra color on top of there. I'm gonna leave this as it is. And that is it, my friends. Boom. We managed to get through it with a minimum amount of fussing. Kobe seems happy now. Everybody is happy. We're gonna get back to grilling, to more kombucha for me, beers for the boys, and bonding, and football, because that's what we're doing today. We do the same things here in Costa Rica that we do in Canada, y'all. Y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all. All right, guys, have a beautiful week. Look ahead for, I think Dr. Jeff is doing a Facebook Live tomorrow night from a special location, if I am not wrong. And I'll be back next Sunday. I can't remember the topic, but I will be letting you know, or Rythmia will be letting you know through the newsletter later this week. Thank you much, Lee. Have a beautiful week. Love you guys so much. Thanks, Levi, for running camera. Thanks, Alex, for taking care of the baby. Oscar, thank you for your help with the olives. Have a good day, guys. Ciao.